The sun burned high over the dry, cracked land of the alien planet, its golden light stretching across endless fields of dust. The air was heavy and hot, making it hard to breathe. Small, strange plants tried to grow, but the soil was thirsty, cracked, and bare. In the middle of this harsh world, a young alien girl moved slowly, her green skin glistening under the sunlight. Her eyes were wide with worry as she looked down at the small creatures that followed her. The pets were strange and beautiful, each one unlike anything the human had ever seen. One had feathers that shimmered like liquid silver, another had eyes that glowed softly in the heat, yet now, all of them were weak and trembling. Their tiny bodies shook as their breaths came in short, painful gasps. Their small voices, usually cheerful and playful, now barely whispered in pain. The alien girl knelt and tried to pour the little water she had into their mouths, but it was almost gone. She looked around desperately, hoping to find more water, but the land offered nothing. The sky was clear, no clouds, no rain. The ground around them seemed to stretch forever, empty and unforgiving. The sun's heat made the dust rise in waves, and the small shadows of the pets grew thinner and thinner. In the distance, a human watched quietly, hidden behind a rock formation. He had arrived on this planet only recently, and this was his first real encounter with the alien girl. He noticed her gentle hands trying to keep the pets alive, the careful way she moved to protect them. He also saw the empty water pouch in her hands, its last drops almost gone. He felt a strange pull in his chest, a mix of fear and hope. He knew the planet was dangerous, and water was life, even for him, yet he could not turn away. The alien girl's face was full of fear now, her large eyes filled with tears as she looked at the pets. Some of them had already collapsed, unable to move, others crawled slowly, struggling to reach her. She whispered their names softly, words the human did not understand, but the emotion was clear. She was desperate, and the pets needed help immediately. The wind began to pick up, stirring dust around them. The pets shivered not only from thirst but also from the growing cold of the planet's night that would come soon. Every second mattered, every drop of water was precious. The human thought about what he had, how much water he could spare. He had only a little himself, and yet, the scene before him made him question his own survival. Could he risk it? Should he act? The pets could die in moments, and the girl's hope was fading fast. The alien girl noticed the human watching, and for a moment, fear flashed in her eyes. She did not know if he was friend or foe. She moved protectively in front of her pets, shielding them from him without saying a word, yet she did not attack. Only her trembling hands and sharp gaze showed how scared she was. The human stayed still, trying not to frighten her more. He slowly stepped forward, hoping she would understand he meant no harm. The pets cried softly, their tiny voices breaking in the hot air. The alien girl knelt beside them, brushing dust from their feathers and fur. She tried to lift them, but they were too weak. She sank to the ground, holding them close, and whispered words that sounded like a song. The human could feel the sadness and love in her voice. It was a sound that made his heart ache. Time seemed to slow, each moment stretched longer than it should. The sun moved slowly across the sky, but nothing changed. The land offered no water, no shelter, no relief, only the alien girl, her pets, and the human who watched them silently. He felt the weight of a decision he did not yet make. The pets could die without water, the girl could lose everything she cared about, and yet, he had his own life to think about. The wind howled a little louder now, carrying sand that stung the eyes and lips. The alien girl pressed her hands against her pets, trying to soothe them. Her tears fell onto their small bodies, and for a brief moment, it seemed the creatures found comfort in her presence. But comfort alone would not save them. They needed water, and it was almost gone. The human knelt at a careful distance, his own water pouch clutched tightly in his hands. His mind raced, thinking of every possible outcome. He could keep it and survive for himself, or he could give it and risk everything. Yet the thought of the pets dying, of the girl losing her companions, made his decision start to form. He looked at the fragile creatures, their breaths shallow, their eyes pleading. The alien girl looked up, meeting his gaze. Their eyes locked for a moment that felt like eternity. A silent question passed between them, and for a brief second, the world around them disappeared. Only life, desperation, and hope remained. The human knew then that this moment would define him, that every choice he made now could save or doom them. The wind continued to blow, the sun beat down, and the pets waited, fragile and trembling, for someone brave enough to act. The human crouched behind a jagged rock, his fingers tight around the last drops of water in his pouch. He could feel the heat of the planet pressing down on him, burning his skin, but it was nothing compared to the fear rising in his chest. He watched the alien girl struggle to keep her pets alive, her trembling hands pouring the tiny remaining water into their mouths, but it was not enough. Every pet he saw weak and shaking tore at his heart, their little eyes stared at him, begging for life without knowing who he was. The human's mind raced, calculating the risk. He knew the planet was merciless, water was rare, and his own survival depended on it, yet, staring at the fragile creatures, the choice became harder. Could he keep the water and save himself, or could he risk everything for beings he barely knew? The alien girl glanced up and noticed him for the first time. Her eyes widened with surprise, and fear flickered across her face. She stepped instinctively in front of her pets, creating a small wall with her body. The pets whimpered, sensing tension. Some tried to crawl closer to her, others shivered uncontrollably, their tiny movements tugged at the human's heart. He swallowed hard, trying to calm his racing thoughts. His mind flashed back to Earth, to the warmth of his own home, to the safety he had taken for granted. Here, on this strange world, none of that mattered. Life was fragile, and choices were raw and sharp. Each second passed like a knife cutting deeper into his conscience. He could see it clearly now. The pets' lives were slipping away, faster than he could even blink. He moved a fraction closer, hoping his intentions were clear. The alien girl's eyes narrowed, uncertainty and fear mingling in her gaze. She did not speak, but the tension between them was heavy, like the air before a storm. The human felt the weight of judgment from the small creatures too. Their weak eyes seemed to plead silently, "Help us, please." He knelt, just far enough to not startle them, and spoke softly, though he doubted they could understand, I have water, but it is my last." His voice trembled, almost lost in the wind. The alien girl tilted her head, confused, trying to understand. Her mind raced. Should she trust him? Could he be a friend or a threat? The pets moved closer to her, as if sensing her uncertainty, their tiny bodies fragile and trembling. The wind began to pick up, carrying hot dust that stung their eyes. The human felt it in his throat, coughing slightly, yet his eyes never left the pets. Each breath he took seemed louder in the silence around them. He felt a strange connection forming, not through words, but through shared urgency and silent understanding. Life hung by a thin thread, and every second counted. He thought of his own life, the water that kept him alive, and the unknown dangers of this world. Giving it away could mean death for him, or at least severe suffering, yet, every instinct told him it was the right thing to do. The creatures were innocent, helpless, and dependent on kindness. The alien girl's silent plea touched a part of him he did not know existed. Minutes passed, the sun beating down, the pets weaker with every heartbeat. The alien girl glanced at the human again, her eyes searching, questioning, pleading silently. Could he make the choice she could not? Could he become more than a stranger on this planet? Could he be a savior, or would they all perish? Finally, he opened the pouch slightly, letting a few drops glimmer in the sunlight. The alien girl's eyes widened, hope flickering like a candle in the wind. She stepped forward slightly, reaching out with cautious trust. The pets stirred, sensing the change. Some tried to crawl closer, weak legs trembling, yet determination in their movements. The human's heart pounded, each beat echoing in his chest like a drum. He knew he was risking everything, but for the first time, survival did not feel like the most important thing. Life, small and fragile, was worth more than his own comfort. He swallowed fear and hesitation, making a choice that would define him, not just as a visitor on this planet, but as a protector of life itself. The wind howled around them, the sun beating down, yet in that small moment, everything seemed still. Only the human, the alien girl, and the tiny creatures existed, waiting, hoping, trembling, for the choice that could save them all. The human knelt slowly, holding his last pouch of water carefully. His fingers shook slightly, the weight of the decision pressing on him like the scorching sun above. He looked into the alien girl's eyes, seeing hope and fear mixed in a way that pierced his heart. The small pets whimpered softly, their tiny bodies trembling, some barely able to lift their heads. Each heartbeat felt louder than the wind around them, each breath like a countdown. He knew what he had to do, but the thought of giving up his only water filled him with dread. The planet was merciless, and survival was never guaranteed. Yet, looking at the creatures, so small, so fragile, he realized their lives mattered more than his own comfort. With a deep breath, he slowly tipped the pouch, letting the precious liquid fall into the waiting mouths of the alien girl's pets. The creatures drank greedily, their tiny tongues lapping at every drop, their soft cries turned into weak coos of relief, and the alien girl gasped in disbelief. Tears ran down her green cheeks as she watched the human sacrifice his last drop for them. She reached out tentatively, placing a hand on his arm, as if to anchor herself to the moment. The human smiled softly, a mixture of relief and worry etched on his face. The pet's energy returned slowly, not fully, but enough to move, enough to show life still flowed through their small bodies. The alien girl whispered words the human could not understand, but her eyes shone with gratitude. They were silent, yet the bond between them grew stronger than anything he had ever felt. He had risked his own survival, yet there was no fear now, only determination and hope. A sudden gust of wind lifted the dust around them, swirling like a small storm. The human shielded the pets with his body instinctively, feeling the weight of responsibility more than ever. The alien girl moved closer, standing beside him now, her eyes still wide with awe. She whispered again, and the pets nuzzled against his arms, weak but safe. A strange warmth filled the human's chest, a feeling of purpose he had never known. For a moment, the harsh world around them seemed to pause. The sun beat down, the wind howled, yet inside this circle of life, there was calm. Hope had returned in the form of small, fragile creatures and the courage of a single human. He realized then that bravery was not about strength or skill alone, but about caring enough to act, even when the risk was personal. The alien girl smiled faintly, a mixture of relief and gratitude. The pets moved closer to her now, but kept glancing at the human, sensing the sacrifice he had made. One of the small creatures, a feathered one, nuzzled his hand as if to say thank you. The human felt a lump in his throat, realizing that even the smallest lives could inspire the deepest feelings. As the wind continued to whip around them, the sun started its slow descent, casting long shadows across the cracked land. The human sat down carefully, exhausted but content. The alien girl stayed close, gently stroking the pets to calm them further. Together, they shared a quiet moment, a fragile peace amid the danger of the planet. The human had given his last water, yet he felt fuller than he had in days. He knew the planet was still harsh, that survival was not guaranteed, but for now, the pets were alive. The alien girl had hope, and a connection had formed that could not be broken by the desert sun or the empty land. Every drop he had given, every risk he had taken, was worth this moment of life, of gratitude, of silent understanding. And as night began to creep across the planet, bringing cool shadows and the first signs of stars, the human realized this was only the beginning, that bravery was not about fighting monsters or battling storms alone, but about choosing to act, choosing to protect, even when everything else was against you. He had made his choice, and in doing so, had changed more than just the fate of a few fragile lives. The sun had dipped lower, casting long shadows across the cracked, dusty land. The wind carried the last warmth of the day, but a chill crept in, brushing over the alien girl, the human, and the pets. They had found a small moment of peace, but the planet seemed to be holding its breath, waiting, watching. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the ground beneath them. Dust rose in clouds around their feet, startling the pets into panicked squeaks. The alien girl's eyes widened in fear. She held her creatures tightly, trying to shield them from the trembling ground. The human's heart skipped a beat. He stood quickly, scanning the horizon, searching for the source. From the distance, jagged rocks began to shift, sliding slowly across the dry land. A sandstorm was approaching, but it was unlike anything he had seen before. The wind carried sharp, swirling particles that stung the skin, and the sky darkened unnaturally. The human grabbed the alien girl's arm, pulling her and the pets behind a larger boulder. He whispered urgently, "Stay close, stay low." The pets shivered violently, their small bodies pressing against the alien girl. She whispered words of comfort in her language, but the human could see her own fear reflected in every gesture. The rumble grew louder, and in a flash of movement, a large predator emerged from the shadows. Its many legs scuttled across the cracked earth, eyes glowing like molten fire. The creature stopped abruptly when it saw them, sniffing the air, its gaze fixed on the pets. The human froze for a moment, calculating the risk. He had no weapon, no way to fight such a beast directly, but then he remembered the bond he had formed with the alien girl and the pets. They were counting on him, and now it was his turn to protect them. He stepped forward cautiously, raising his hands to appear larger, hoping to scare the predator. The alien girl gasped, stepping slightly in front of her pets, shielding them instinctively. The pets whimpered, some curling closer to her, their trust in both of them evident. The predator lunged, fast and terrifying, and the human reacted instinctively, shouting and stomping the ground, trying to draw attention away from the pets. His plan was risky, but he had no other choice. Suddenly, the alien girl acted, using her agility to throw small stones at the creature, striking it near its glowing eyes. The predator hissed and recoiled, giving the human a chance to push the pets to safety behind the boulder. Together, they worked in harmony, human and alien girl, guiding the pets and creating distractions. Their trust in each other grew stronger with every heartbeat, every coordinated move. The sandstorm reached them with full force, whipping dust and debris across their bodies. The predator hesitated for a moment, then retreated into the shadows, unwilling to face the combined courage of the human, the alien girl, and her pets. They breathed heavily, exhausted but alive, each small creature nestled close to the alien girl, their fragile bodies shaking but safe for now. The human collapsed to one knee, panting, but he felt an unexpected warmth spread through his chest. They had survived together, and the bond he shared with these fragile lives had grown unbreakable. The alien girl looked at him, gratitude shining in her eyes. Words were unnecessary, each of them understood the unspoken truth. Bravery was not measured by size or strength alone, but by heart and courage in the face of danger. As the storm faded and the first stars appeared in the alien sky, the human realized this planet had tested them all in ways he could never have imagined. He had given his last water, saved the pets, and faced a terrifying predator, yet the greatest lesson remained clear: courage, trust, and unity could overcome even the deadliest challenges. The alien girl smiled faintly, brushing the dust from the pet's feathers and fur. Each small life safe, each bond strengthened. And in that quiet, starlit moment, the human understood that survival was not just about staying alive, but about protecting others, risking everything when it mattered most. The pets nuzzled closer to both humans, the alien girl and the human, sharing warmth and comfort. Their soft breaths and tiny movements were a reminder that even on a harsh world, hope could flourish in the hearts of the brave. The desert night had settled over the alien planet, its dark sky sprinkled with tiny, sparkling stars. The wind had calmed, leaving only a soft hum that moved through the rocks and dry sand. The human and the alien girl sat quietly, the pets nestled safely between them, each small creature now breathing steadily, no longer trembling. The moment felt fragile, yet full of life. The alien girl looked at the human, her eyes wide with gratitude. She had never known such courage before, and the sacrifice he had made touched her deeply. The pets chirped softly, some nuzzling his hands, others curling against her legs, as if to say thank you in their own gentle way. The human smiled softly, tired but fulfilled, knowing that his last water had kept life alive, not just for the pets, but for hope itself. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared from the horizon, a cluster of bioluminescent plants that lit up like lanterns in the desert night. The alien girl's face lit with awe, and even the human's tired eyes brightened. It was a rare sight on this harsh planet, a small miracle that mirrored the miracle they had just shared. The pets stirred, moving toward the glow, their tiny eyes reflecting the light, curiosity and energy returning to them. The human realized something important, that bravery and kindness were never wasted, even in a world that seemed cruel and indifferent. The alien girl had learned trust, the pets had learned safety, and he had learned that true courage meant putting others before himself. A sense of warmth spread through him, stronger than the sun's heat or the chill of the night. The alien girl reached out and gently took his hand, her green fingers brushing against his. Her smile was quiet but full of meaning. They did not need words to understand each other. The bond they shared was now unspoken, strong, and unbreakable. The pets chirped and moved closer, forming a small circle of life around them. Their trust was complete, and their fragile lives had found a guardian in the human. The stars above shone brighter now, reflecting in the human's eyes. He looked at the alien girl and whispered softly, though she could not understand fully, "We made it." The alien girl nodded, her gaze lingering on him, then on the pets. Then she laughed softly, a musical sound that carried warmth and relief. The pets joined with small happy cries, as if celebrating the moment with her. Time seemed to stretch as the night embraced them, the planet still harsh, still full of dangers, but for now, the human, the alien girl, and the pets had found peace, the human realized that the smallest actions could have the biggest consequences, that a single choice, a single drop of water, could save not just life, but hope itself. He felt a quiet pride, not for himself, but for the lives he had touched. The alien girl gathered her pets close, holding them tightly. Her eyes met his once more, filled with gratitude, respect, and something deeper. They had faced danger, hunger, and uncertainty, yet together, they had survived. The human looked at the night sky, feeling the cool desert wind on his face, and he knew that this planet, though harsh and unforgiving, had also given him something rare, the chance to protect life, to act bravely, and to be part of something greater than himself. As the first hints of dawn touched the horizon, painting the sky in soft purples and golds, the human rose slowly, stretching tired muscles. The alien girl followed, leading her pets forward with newfound strength. Their small group moved together across the desert, a symbol of courage, trust, and unity, and though the challenges of this world were far from over, they had survived. They had learned that bravery was not just about fighting, but about caring, protecting, and choosing to act when it mattered most. And in that quiet, glowing morning, the human, the alien girl, and her pets walked forward, stronger and closer than ever, ready to face whatever this strange, harsh world could throw at them next, for in their hearts, hope burned brighter than the harshest sun, and the smallest acts of courage had changed everything.